It ain't that we're double-checking on you, Kingfish, but let's face the facts. This lodge ain't being run right, and we all knows it.
Now, asking you fellas to speak up, I still claim that the books and the ledger of this lodge is in perfect order.
Kingfish, you don't know what you're talking about.
Amos is right, Kingfish. But just take the sickness committee.
Well, what about it?
Well, only last week, you sent a get-well card to Brother Simpson that died in 1934.
Maybe that explains why he delinked up with his dues.
That's only one of the things that's wrong around here. Let's get to the financial books of the lodge.
Well, I got the books right here, and they're open to each and every brother's complete inspection. Get your hands off of that thing there. So you want to see the financial books, huh?
Yeah.
Well, there he is. There he is. You done see them. The meeting's adjourned.
Wait a minute, sir.
Kingfish, what kind of bookkeeping system do you use here?
Well, the standard system, the double entry with the single wing.
Oh, they get them all messed up so nohow, Kingfish.
Yeah, it's a mess, all right.
The thing I was worried about is the other records, the important people of the lodge, like our charter, the Constitution, the tax records, and the mortgage papers.
Well, Amos, you ain't got to worry about them. I guard them with my life. Calhoun?
Yeah?
Go over there to the files and bring out the drawer that's marked A to F, confidential, top secrets.
Okay.
The charter of our great organization. I know I got a file here someplace.
Well, where is it, Kingfish?
The charter and record tax. Yeah, I remember it now.
Well, what happened to it?
Well, do you remember the New Year's party that we gave last year? Well, we run out of confetti.
Do you mean to tell me that we saw the New Year in with the old charter?
I think this is disgraceful, really disgraceful.
Now, listen, you don't have to mince words with me. If you're dissatisfied with the way the lodge is being run, there's something you can do about it. All those in favor of me resigning, say aye.
Aye.
The news has it. Thanks for your vote. Calhoun, get this stuff out of here.
Now, look, Kingfish, we might as well put our cards on the table. Now, we got to get a secretary in here for 3 or 4 weeks to help you straighten up the books. And after that, you can take it yourself.
Nothing doing. I ain't gonna have no secretary around here. My wife's gonna object. The last one I had here, she raised the roof. What is it, Lightning?
Mr. Kingfish, there's a gal out here say she's looking for a job as a secretary.
Say, what's going on here?
Look, Kingfish, we done made up our mind about it. So we took the liberty of calling an employment agency to send somebody over.
Well, if that's the way it's gotta be, there's nothing I can do about it. Tell her to wait a second, Lightning.
Well, I guess you and Annie will want to interview her. So, come on, Calhoun, we better run along. So long, fellas.
So long, fella.
Well, Andy, if we're gonna get a secretary, we want to make sure we get one that's efficient.
Yeah, we don't want to mess around with somebody that don't know what they're doing.
Right.
You is hired.
How do you do? My name is Mabel Johnson. The employment agency sent me over.
Well, my name is Brown, but you can call me Andy to start with, and we'll build from there.
Now, wait a minute, Andy. This is a business proposition. We ain't running no Lonely Hearts Club here, you know. Miss, would you sit right here by the desk, please?
Certainly.
I guess you know this job is just temporarily for about a month.
Yes, I understand.
And the salary, well, I guess $25 a week.
Oh, that's all right with me. You see, I'm new at the secretarial work, and I was hoping that I could get some experience here.
And Mr. Brown, my new secretary here, ain't gonna have no time for no extra cuticle activities. You know, Miss, we got a lot of filing to do here, and typing and stenography and everything. Now, how many words can you take down a minute in shorthand?
Well, I'm not so very fast. I think I can do about 50 or 60.
Well, the average stenographer, she take down 120 words a minute.
Listen, Kingfish, between the two of us, we don't know 120 words.
I think you got a point there. There ain't no use in having a 12-cylinder car if you ain't going no place.
Yeah, and besides, all the work around here is filing and straightening up things.
Okay, miss, you're hired.
Oh, thank you.
And you can put your things out here in the outer hall out there, and Lightning will show you where everything is.
Thank you.
Oh, but by the way, we're going to be awful busy the next month here, and we may have to work at night, too. Would that be all right with you for the night, Miss Johnson?
Oh, I'd be very happy to stay.
Good. You know, Amy, the only one thing worrying me. You know, the last time we had a good-looking gal here for a stenographer, Sapphire blew the top, and I had to get rid of the gal.
Yeah, but Sapphire don't know about her.
No, and being she only going to be here a month, I don't think I'm going to tell her anything. In other words, I'm going to stick to that old saying, it's always better to lie on a sleeping dog.
Oh, yeah. Well, I better be getting along and let you get started. Say, Kingfish, let me know tonight she ain't working, will you?
Oh. Hello, Sapphire.
Hello, George. I was just going marketing.
Well, I'm glad I caught you in. You see, we had a meeting down here at the lodge, and the brothers is after me to get the file straightened out. So I'll be working tonight, and I won't be home to supper.
Oh, that's too bad, George. But I guess work does have to come first. All right, then, George. Goodbye.
Well, are we ready, Sapphire?
Yes, Mama. That was George on the telephone.
Yeah.
He won't be home for supper tonight. He has to work late.
Work late?
Yes.
Well, for a man that don't even work early, that is really something.
Business at the lodge.
Oh.
Say, Mama, after supper, why don't you and I go to a movie?
That's a wonderful idea, Sapphire.
Okay. Anything good in the neighborhood?
Oh, yes, honey, yes. Down at the Bijou, there's a picture down there that everybody's just raving about, and I'm just dying to see it.
Well, what is it?
Secretary in name only.
With deep regret that we had ignored Joe Bill since 1944. But we will bring it to our immediate attention. Signed, yours very truly. Holy smoke, it's 10:30. I never had no idea it was that late.
Well, that's all right. I'm not tired.
Well, tomorrow's another day. We get back to this then, Miss Johnson. Kind of late for you to be walking home alone, ain't it?
Oh, I don't mind. I live in the Lennox Arms apartment on the avenue above the Bijou Theater.
Well, that's right on my way. I'll walk you there.
Oh, that's very nice of you, Mr. Stevens.
That picture sure had a lot of bounds to it, didn't it?
Oh, I don't know, Mama. To me, it seemed awfully unbelievable. A man his age falling for that young secretary.
Don't be silly, Sapphire. It's them old goats that you got to watch.
Mama, those things just don't happen in real life. They only happen in the pictures. Mama, look. George Stevens.
Sapphire, Mama.
George, what's the meaning of this?
Well, honey, you see, the thing is, Sapphire, I'd like you to meet my secretary, this Miss Johnson.
How do you do?
So it only happens in the movies, huh? Well, right now, you're looking at the Academy Award.
Now, wait a second, Mama. Don't get no wrong ideas here.
Yes, Mrs. Stevens. I wouldn't want you to get the wrong impression. We were only just working at the office.
You keep out of this, you little secretary.
Mr. Stevens, I think I'd better be running along.
Yeah, I'll see you in the morning, Miss Johnson. How look, Sapphire?
Look, nothing. I've seen everything I want to see. Working. Huh.
Yeah.
Huh. George, it's strange you didn't find time to tell me about this secretary.
Well, honey, it just slipped my mind. She just started to work today.
Sapphire, don't you believe him? He's lying just like that man did in the picture, telling his wife he was going to a board meeting. He didn't look bored to me.
George, I've given you the best years of my life. Is this the thanks I get?
I tell you, honey, I is innocent. She's just my secretary. That's right, lady. A man has got a right to have a secretary.
You keep out of this. Go ahead, lady.
Thank you. You would have told me about this secretary. You didn't tell me about her because you didn't want me to know about her.
Mama, you believe me, don't you?
Don't look to me for no sympathy. I didn't want Sapphire to marry you in the first place.
I still say, a man has got a right to have a secretary.
Didn't I tell you to keep your yap shut?
Honey, let's go home and settle this. Joe Louis never drew no such a crowd as this.
This is a free country, and I say a man has got a right to have a secretary.
Come on, Herman.
Stephen, there's no need to discuss this any further. There's only one question I want answered. Are you or are you not going to fire this secretary?
Sapphire, for one time in my life, I'm going to put my foot down. I need a secretary, and that's final.
All right, but if you don't fire, you're going to regret this.
I'm not going to fire her.
Just don't say I didn't warn you.
What you gonna do, Sapphire?
Mama, I've got the perfect answer. Tomorrow, I'm going out and get myself a job as a private secretary. And we'll see how Mr. George Stevens likes that.
Now, Mrs. Stevens, being a secretary to a writer like myself, it's a little different than just working in an office.
Well, it sounds very interesting to me, Mr. Bentley. And as I said before, I'd like very much to try it.
Fine. You see, when Miss Jackson here first took the job 2 years ago, I told her she'd have a wonderful future here. Well, things have turned out better than I thought. We're going to be married.
Oh, congratulations to you both.
Thank you.
But it so happens that the wedding is about 2 weeks off, so I thought my fiancé could help break you in.
Well, that sounds like a wonderful idea.
Well, let's consider it settled then.
Fine.
And you can start tomorrow morning.
All right.
Now, I suppose you'd like to run along and tell your husband the good news.
I certainly would. Thank you so much, Mr. Bentley, and goodbye to you both. Goodbye.
Mama, where's Sapphire anyway?
Oh, she'll be home soon.
You know, Mama, I just can't understand her narrow-minded attitude about a man having a secretary. After all, there'd be no progress in business if secretary didn't do some work. And you know, Mama, the Empire State Building wasn't built on smooching.
Well, George, all I know is what I see in the movies.
Oh, George.
Hello, Sapphire.
Hello, Mama. Hello, Sapphire.
Sapphire, I was just telling your mama here about your narrow-minded attitude about me having a secretary. Any man in business has got a right to have a secretary. Where you been all afternoon, Sapphire?
Oh, I was out getting myself a job as a secretary.
Well, that's fine. That's... What? You a secretary? Working for a man? Why, this is the most awful thing I done ever heard of.
Why, George, I thought you approved of a man having a secretary. And after all, what's good for the goose is good for the gander.
Well, who is this goose you working for?
John Bentley. He's a writer.
Well, if he can write, what do he need with you?
Now, look, George, I warned you about this. And I'm telling you now, as long as you have that secretary in your office, I'm going to work as a secretary myself.
Oh, give me an ultimatum, huh? Well, I'm putting my foot down. I'm keeping my secretary, and I'm sick and tired of you running my life for me.
Well, all right, George. You're free to run your own life.
And I'm going to start in right now. I'm going to pack up and move in with Andy. Now, what has you women's got to say to that? Oh, you don't like the idea, huh?
No. We're just trying to remember where we put your valise.
Oh, being independent, huh? Well, I guarantee you that you'll be crawling after me in no time. Yes, sir, crawling after me in no time.
It's certainly taking her a long time to crawl over.
Yeah, Andy, it's been 2 weeks now, not a word from her. I can't understand it.
Well, this is a mess, all right. The two of us living here cooped up in this one little room.
Well, Andy, I hope I ain't put you to too much inconvenience.
No, the only thing I don't like is you making me wear this nightcap to remind you of Sapphire.
Look, Andy, the reason I ask you to do that is because it kind of makes me feel at home. Andy, I've been thinking of this whole thing. I'm going to swallow my pride and going back to her.
Yeah, that's the thing to do, all right. Yeah. Well, thank goodness this is the last night for this thing. Oh, all right, Calhoun.
Well, if it ain't old Mother Hubbard.
What you doing here this time of night?
Oh, yeah. Kingfish, as a brother of the lodge, I think it's my sacred duty to call this matter to your attention. It's in the latest edition of the newspaper here.
Oh, what's that, Calhoun?
See there what it says there? It says, John Bentley, prominent writer, and his secretary have been seen in all the night spots and only have eyes for each other.
The secretary, well, that's Sapphire.
Yeah, I know.
I can't believe it. Sapphire and this writer. I wonder what he want with Sapphire.
Maybe he writing one of them Dracula stories or something.
It took me 2 weeks away from her to realize how much I love the gal. And just when I'm ready to take her back, someone snatches her away from me.
Well, now, Kingfish, if you really want her back, the thing you got to do is go out there and fight for her.
You mean fight showing up?
Certainly. Go up to this Bentley fella, grab him, look him in the eye, and let him have it.
Slapping is too good for him, Calhoun. I'd really go to town on him.
Yeah, if he even so much as opened his mouth, tear it into him.
I wouldn't hit this fella Bentley no more. I think his stomach's getting upset.
I don't know if that's exactly what I'm going to do. But I guarantee you tomorrow morning, I'm going up to this fella Bentley and have it out with him.
Yeah, that's right, Kingfish. Well, I got to be running along, boys. See you later.
Yeah.
Sleep well, Kingfish.
Sleep well.
Well, how's my sweet little ex-secretary this morning?
Just wonderful, John. How are you, dear?
Couldn't be better. No, I gave Mrs. Stevens a day off. There was no point in her coming in if I'm going to be busy getting married.
You know, John, I think my father is finally getting used to my getting married. But I still don't think he's too happy about it.
Well, don't worry, dear. We'll... hold it a second, dear. Someone's at the front door. Yes?
Mr. Bentley, I got to see you about a very important matter.
Well, won't you come in and sit down?
Thank you.
I'll be with you in a moment. I'm on the phone.
Well, Andy, I don't get Sapphire come to work yet.
Yeah.
I'm sorry we were interrupted, darling.
Darling,
He's talking on the telephone.
let's go to the door, Andy, and let's see if I can find out something.
Yeah.
Yes, I know, dear. But tell me again what you were saying about the old man.
Well, it was just that he seemed so surprised about our marriage.
Well, he knew you were working for me as my secretary.
Andy, you hear that? He's talking to Sapphire now.
Yeah.
Well, honey, all I've got to say is the only important thing is that we're going to be married.
Sapphire gonna marry? How can she do that?
Well, maybe she got one of them quick Mexican divorces or something.
Yeah.
What? Well, you didn't tell me about that. Oh, you worried too much, darling. You looked beautiful last night at the theater. And your whole face was radiant. I just couldn't believe my eyes last night.
Wait till he sees her in the morning.
Andy, this is terrible.
Yes, darling, the arrangements are the same. It's going to be in that little reception room at the Lennox Arms Hotel at 2 o'clock this afternoon.
Holy mackerel, Andy. They're getting married this afternoon.
Yeah.
I know just how you feel, darling. I know how you hate to leave the old man. Say, I know what. It's a little unusual, but why don't we take him along on the honeymoon with us?
I guess they want you to carry the baggage.
Andy, I'd heard enough. She's in love with another man, and that finishes me. Come on, Andy.
All right, dear. I'll see you later. Yes? Goodbye, darling. Now, gentlemen, what can...
Oh, Andy, my heart. I think it done stopped beating. I feel it, Andy.
Oh, cut it out, Kingfish. I tell you, I just can't believe it.
Amos, it's the truth, and there ain't nothing nobody can do about it.
The way the Kingfish figures it, she must have made a quick trip to Mexico and got unspliced or something.
But, Kingfish, you can't just stay here and do nothing.
Well, Amos, if Sapphire's happiness is wrapped up in this fella Bentley, well, I love her too much to take this from her.
But, Kingfish, I just can't believe Sapphire do a thing like this.
Yeah, well, the Kingfish ain't out of the picture altogether. They're figuring on taking him along on their honeymoon.
Now, look, Kingfish, from what Andy tells me, that wedding gonna start any minute. Now, you got to get over there and stop the thing or talk to Sapphire or something before it's too late.
I agrees with Amos, Kingfish.
Boys, I think you're right, and I'm gonna fight for the one I loves. Come on, Andy, let's rush over there before it's too late.
Hurry, Kingfish, and good luck to you.
Yeah, have a nice trip, Mr. Kingfish.
Mama, will you please hurry? Mr. Bentley invited me to the wedding. How is it going to look when I come in late?
Oh, I'm sorry, Sapphire. I had no idea it was this late.
Well, we're going to be late, but I guess there's nothing we can do about it.
Yeah,
Let's hurry.
All right.
We are gathered here to see this man and this woman united in marriage. Matrimony is a relation instituted for the welfare and happiness of mankind. For inasmuch as these two persons have come hither to be made one, if there be any just cause why they may not be lawfully joined in marriage, speak now or forever hold his peace.
Don't join him. I object to this marriage. This woman is my wife. Nobody try to stop her. There's going to be trouble.
George Stevens! George Stevens, what's the meaning of this?
Well, Sapphire, honey, see, the thing is,
There must be some explanation for this.
I agreed with you. Let's have it.
George Stevens, who is this woman?
Well, suppose we all find out together. I'll have you in jail for this. You know, I think I had something here that belonged to you.
Are you all right, dear? This man tried to steal my bride. Said he was married to her.
Married to her?
I'll see you later, Kingfish. I better get on home and get out.
George, you still haven't told me anything.
Now, look, honey, these people are trying to put on a wedding here, and this ain't no place for us to discuss our personal problems.
All right, we'll go home and have it out.
George Stevens, you better have some good answers, because I got some great questions. And what happened?
Well, I heard the man say he was going to marry his secretary, so I just put two and two together.
What right did you have putting two and two together? You know you can't count. Oh, Mama. Oh, we'll make myself some coffee.
Look, honey, this whole thing about hiring a secretary wasn't my idea. The brothers insisted on it so I could catch up with my work at the lodge.
Yes, George, but you didn't have to hire such a young and attractive one. Let's face it, she can only cause trouble.
Look, honey, I got an idea. Now, you give up your job, and I'll let my secretary go. And just so you won't be suspicious or nothing, I'm going to let you hire a new secretary for me.
Well, George, that sounds reasonable and fair. All right, I'll get you a secretary.
That's fine, honey, that's fine. Oh, you don't know how good it is to be back home. I sure was miserable those 2 weeks.
Well, I miss you too, George.
And, honey, we must never let nothing like that happen again. That'll separate us.
Well, that suits me, George.
Oh, Sapphire. Well, that takes care of the invoices. Now I want to dictate a letter to a sick brother. Are you ready for me to start dictating?
Yeah, start dictating. But this time you take them marbles out of your mouth.
Yes, ma'am. Dear Brother Smith.
Why not so fast?